So just for fun this morning, I thought, I'm going to predict 6 new teams. I got 45% new teams. I don't have 7, I have 6. So here's who made the playoffs last year. AFC, Titans, Chiefs, Bills, Bengals, Raiders, Patriots, Steelers. NFC, Packers, Bucs, Cowboys, Rams, Cardinals, Niners, Eagles. Here are my moves. Show them my moves, and I'll explain each one. So I have 3 new teams making the playoffs in the AFC, the Broncos, Chargers, and Ravens. The Bills, Chiefs, Steelers, Titans still make it. Yes, the Steelers did make the playoffs. The Broncos added Russell Wilson, Randy Gregory, DJ Jones up front. That is a better defensive front, and they are significantly better at quarterback. I don't want to hear about how tough the division is. Matt Stafford went from Detroit to a tougher division and won the Super Bowl. Doesn't matter. If you're good, you're good. The Chargers have been very smart. They already had a good roster. Justin Herbert not getting any money, so they go out and get Khalil Mack, so you can't double and triple and chip Bosa on every snap, and they go get J.C. Jackson, a very good corner, a playmaker. And the Ravens last year, I have the Ravens making it in. Folks, they were the number 1 seed before they fell apart physically. They were an 8-3 football team, and they've added, they draft well. That's coming up, and they added some pieces in free agency. I think the Ravens will be a playoff team. In the NFC, I have the Commanders, Falcons, and Vikings, the new teams. Bucs, Packers, Rams, Niners still make it. I do think Trey Lance will work. Commanders. How do I pick Commanders? They were 7-10 last year with 4 one-possession losses, and they were a joke at quarterback. I think they're going to win those games with Wentz, mostly. Falcons. How do I have the Falcons in? I think they win the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes. I'm projecting that, and I think he gets them in. And the other one's the Vikings. Listen, I've liked the Vikings roster for years, but Zimmer and Kirk Cousins didn't like each other. Now you bring in the tall Sean McVay, the new coach, put it up again for the Rams. He was their coordinator. He moves over. They have good offensive pieces. Dalvin Cook's a star. Justin Jefferson's a star. Adam Thielen. They've upgraded their own line. Their tight ends are solid. They just didn't use him because Zimmer's so conservative. And I like Mike Zimmer, but he and Kirk Cousins didn't work. The league is changing. These defensive coaches, Vic Fangio, Mike Zimmer, Ron Rivera, they can be stubborn. I think Minnesota, I thought they would be better. I was surprised what happened last year. I think Minnesota gets in as a wild card. Falcons get in as a wild card. Commanders get in, winning their division. No, now you're going to say to yourself, 2 teams jump out to you. How do you not have the Bengals in? We got to be honest about this. They got a little lucky. Last year, they had a 4th-place schedule. Now they're going to have a 1st-place schedule. Last year, the Ravens in division led them and fell apart. Baker Mayfield got hurt late. Baker Mayfield, I think, is 3-0 against Burrow. Okay, so they got breaks last year, and Big Ben, the wheels came off. Now they have a tougher schedule. Dallas Cowboys I don't have in. Why? Because I think it's a weapons league. They lost Cedric Wilson and Amari Cooper. And Dak Prescott's record without Amari Cooper, not great. He's not the same quarterback. That's the best route runner in the NFC, arguably. Also, Lyle Collins, the right tackle's gone. Tyrone Smith, the left tackle, is aging and has been for about 5 years. There'll be games they don't have the tackles from last year or 2 of their top 3 receivers. And they lost Randy Gregory. Now, I think they overcompensate, and give Von Miller a long contract. I wouldn't. They will. But there's my 2 explanations on the Bengals and the Cowboys. Much like a weatherman who predicts cold weather coming, I'll get nothing but heat. But we know that half the playoff teams don't make it. So I went 6 new playoff teams. It's pretty obvious. The Raiders now in that division are the 4th best roster by a long shot. So, that's an easy one for me. Also, I don't have New England in. I'll say this again. Who's their 2nd best player after Matthew Judon? Shaq Mason, gone. J.C. Jackson, gone. I hear a lot about, and this is one of my knocks. Belichick's obviously a smart guy. But you have to be very careful in life about falling in love with yourself and falling in love with culture over players. If you looked at the Buccaneers today, where Tom Brady's at, and the Patriots, and said, who are the 10 best players? I would argue Tampa has got 9 of them. Judon makes it, although he vanished at the end of the year. Tristan Wirfs, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Shaq Mason, Ryan Jensen, the center's a top 3 center. Levante David, Shaq Barrett. You got to have players. Bill Walsh before Joe Montana started. You'd never heard of him. He was a 500 college coach, wasn't doing anything in San Francisco. You got to have players. Greg Popovich lost Kawhi and Duncan. You can't make the playoffs. You got to have players, regardless how smart you are. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.